Good morning. It's Rita Wilkins, the downsizing designer. So I had such a large response when I wrote a letter to my baby boomer friends about a month ago. So I decided to write another letter to baby boomers, but to everyone really. It's a letter from my heart about downsizing and decluttering and creating that next chapter. So let's be honest. We have lived long enough to accumulate quite a bit of stuff. As a matter of fact, probably too much stuff. Closets seem to multiply their contents almost overnight. Basements maybe some of them could actually qualify as an architectural dig. And garages no longer fit the cars because they're too full of those someday boxes. So, and I get it because I've been there too. And this isn't just about clutter though. This is about memories, identity, and decades of living. So each item has a story. Each drawer feels like another chapter of our lives. But here's the thing. All that stuff that once served us, it's now quietly weighing us down. So there is weight in too much stuff. I remember walking into my own attic several years ago, looking at the towers of boxes and thinking, where do I even start? So my first instinct was to close the door and walk away. And maybe you felt that way too. It's not necessarily that we don't want to let it go. It's just the sheer volume and that paralysis of making so many decisions. So we think it's going to take forever. And you might say, I don't have the energy, I don't have the time, I'll deal with it later. But maybe, as you've noticed, later has that sneaky way of turning into not just months, but years. And this stuff keeps multiplying, and maybe our energy doesn't. So there's a real cost in waiting. So let's talk about what happens when we keep putting it off. So there's the financial things that happen. Holding on to a house that's just too big, too expensive, and too much to maintain. It slowly slips away or chips away at our retirement. And then emotionally, the weight of the unfinished decisions creates stress, guilt, and sometimes even shame. And then physically, so let's be real, the older we get, the less energy we have and ability we have to climb those ladders, haul those boxes, and wrestle all the heavy furniture. So one woman I worked with waited until her health forced her to move. Downsizing then became not a choice, it became urgent, exhausting, and also overwhelming, not just for her, but for her children. She told me later, I wish that I had done this years ago. And, when she had the energy and to enjoy it, and also to look over all those things and reminisce and choose what she wanted to keep rather than what now she was being forced to keep and forced to let go of. So there's a big question that we all ask. And I hear this question all the time. Does downsizing really make life easier, or will I regret it? So I just want to say, that's a very fair question. And downsizing is not for everybody. It's not one size fits all. We've been told in our lifetimes that bigger is better. And we've been actually told that all of our lives. The more square footage, the more storage, and more stuff. So downsizing can really feel like you're moving backwards, but you're not. So let me tell you about this guy named Jim and his wife Carol. They sold their family home of 35 years very reluctantly and moved into a sunny 2-bedroom condo in the city. They worried before they moved that they would miss all that space, but now they walk to coffee shops, they go out to dinner with new friends, they travel freely without worrying about lawn care. And Carol told me that she feels 10 years younger. She didn't realize how much the house was weighing down on her until the house was no longer there. So that's just one example. So there are many advantages of living smaller. And here's the surprising truth, that living smaller as we age actually can help you live bigger, which is why I talk about what I do. So there's less to clean, there's less repair, less to manage, but more manageable for our health and our mobility. So there's more time and energy for travel, for family, for hobbies, and things that give us joy. So when you stop maintaining a house that doesn't fit your lifestyle anymore, you gain that freedom to focus on what truly matters. So the rightsizing is really what we're talking about, not just downsizing. This isn't about shrinking your home, it's about rightsizing your life. So ask yourself, does your current home and all the stuff in it right now reflect who you are right now? Or is it reflecting the life that you used to have? So this is such an important question to reflect on. That's why I'm emphasizing it. Right-sizing means aligning your space with your values, your energy, and your dreams for this chapter. It's not about loss, it's about living intentionally. So make sure that you ask yourself, does this home and all the stuff in it reflect your life now or the life that you used to have? So, you know, if you're downsizing, you really do have to face some hard truths. I always try to do it with compassion, though, because it's not easy. So let's just name a few of the fears that we all carry with us when we're downsizing. The first one is, will I regret letting all this go? Will I regret not having my big house anymore? Or what about if my kids want this house someday, or all my stuff? Or what if I lose part of myself in downsizing? So I've had those same thoughts myself, honestly, but here's what I've learned, that you're not your stuff. Your your identity is not sitting in your attic, and your memories aren't in boxes. They're in your heart, they're in your photos, they're in your stories, and the people that you love. And as for the kids, I'm going to just be blunt, because most of our kids don't want our stuff. And what they do want, though, is our time, the time with us, and a future where they're not left sorting through the decades of our things. So decluttering now is one of the greatest acts of love that you could actually give them. So, and listen, I will say this with all humility, I was there once. I faced the same concerns, the same fears, but the more I got into decluttering, I can't tell you how many times I said, I can't believe I bought this, or I can't believe I still have it, and that I kept it. So the more I let go, the more confident I became that I was doing the right thing in downsizing. So here's the truth, and there is a little bit of a sense of urgency. We're not getting any younger, we know that. And if not now, when? So the longer we wait, the harder it gets physically, emotionally, and financially. But the sooner we start, the sooner we can step into that freedom of a simpler, less cluttered life. So decluttering, downsizing aren't endings, they're actually beginnings. So more peace of mind, more energy for all those adventures, and more freedom to live the way that you say you want to be living. So this isn't about giving up, it's about creating space for what's next. So my baby boomer friends, let me just leave you with this. Don't let the weight of too much stuff keep you from the joy of what's waiting on the other side. Don't let fear or procrastination rob you of the freedom that you have worked hard for and that you deserve. Decluttering isn't about losing, it's about gaining. Gaining space, gaining peace, gaining the ability to live fully in that next chapter. So if not now, when? So this is given with love, with humor, and with compassion.